So it seems the janitors don't go into the bathroom until I'm headed towards the bathroom. And they start blocking the door. So these cameras have to be looked at. They always try to create a stampede. As soon as I'm in the bathroom, they start locking up the larger section. And so to create a stampede. And then open the smaller section. So as to create a stampede. And it seems like I'm being stopped and followed. Yesterday I was on the train, on the one train, and the train conductor said DADA. She was a black American woman, and I think a Spanish male on that one train also. They were using the public address system. My name is Babatunde. It means the return of a father. I'm a woman now. I used to be a male. So they're taunting me and making fun of my Nigerian name. And then I fell asleep until when I woke up, somebody left a bottle of drink called Poppy. I think they call Father Poppy or whatever. Poppi. That drink is not so popular. So I was like, out of all the places somebody could have let a bottle of Poppy, it's right where I was seated, right in front of me, after I fell asleep. So they're taunting me, and yesterday also, a guy tried to stab me on the train. So my father is dead, my mother is dead, and my mother's daughters here in America, born and for, are part of a criminal gang that kill people for money, and they framed my mother up as mentally ill and killed her. My mother said one of the daughters was poisoning her food with cancer-free poison. And my mother entered her daughter, but only give her food in Pennsylvania. My mother would start having bloody diarrhea, and her heart would start congesting, And she fled back to New York to go to the hospital. And she thought she was safe in the hospital. Then the daughter showed up like 3 days later. So my mother was wondering, how was the daughter able to know what hospital she was in? Because my mother didn't tell the daughter anybody else what hospital she was in. I said, daughter was nagging at the hospital, telling doctors to lock my mother up. My mother already had a heart problem, and at that time, me and my mother filed a lawsuit against the police, in which we said the police came to remove us from our home roughly, and the police threatened to lock us up if we don't leave. So they're going to frame us up as crazy, or lock us up in the mental ward, or lock us up in the prison. So I said, as soon as the police threatened us with forced arrest, I'm gonna start having a heart problem. So I told the Brooklyn Federal Court that in 2013, the case I filed, 13 CV 5052. So my mother's address in Pennsylvania, the address Brooklyn Federal were living in Pennsylvania, they had their homes built in Pennsylvania. So they were reading my lawsuit papers online that I filed here in New York. Because it was just me and my mother living on Staten Island. The address were living in Pennsylvania, they had their own homes. So, the address couldn't get any money because they weren't living in the home with us. It was just me and my mother living in the basement apartment when the police removed us. So my mother said address were reading in my court papers, but only I was reading the court papers in Pennsylvania, and they were very jealous. So they were trying to kill my mother early so that they can get some of the money as an inheritance. So said that Bolani was poisoning her food with a cancer-free poison. So my mother fled back to New York because she had gone to Pennsylvania to temporarily stay with the daughters after the police removed me and her from her home in Staten Island. And she was shocked when she got back to New York. She was in the hospital, Bellevue, for like 2 or 3 days. And the daughters showed up. And my mother didn't tell her what happened. So they said sometimes criminal gangs sell drugs or use drugs. The FBI will hire them as informants. And then they'll be able to get access to FBI resources. For example, I was under FBI surveillance at the time because my mother brought me here from Nigeria and they arrested my JFK when I was a child, saying my visa doesn't cover me. And I had a visa on my passport also, so should I not overcome with the parents? My mother had a green card, I had a green card visa also. So they sent my picture and fingerprint to the FBI. So they said when they send your picture to FBI like that forever and ever, the FBI picture and surveillance is me. I think I got my green card finally in 2008. And the police came and removed my mother from my home in 2010. And there's a black American that was helping me with my court papers, and the police immediately went and killed him. And we got him. Whereas the same place where I met him on Bay Street and we took delivery. And his family said his death was suspicious, but the black Americans don't want to help me. Even one of their lawyers, Benjamin Crump, said was going to help me. And all of a sudden broke contact with me, like all the lawyers that promised to help me. I believe the FBI may be the ones telling me, don't help that African. Why would you want an African to get money? So I'm being xenophobically blocked, and all the lawyers are trying to help me, and they've just disappeared from the case, won't contact me back. I'm contacting Benjamin Cop all the time, but doesn't respond to me, and there'll be this dead silence. I'm going to send this video to him also. If he promised help, and all of a sudden, one dead silent, he didn't contact me back anymore. I contact him on Instagram every day. So I believe it's a xenophobic block, and now the police are trying to kill me. So I believe there's a scheme. Like my mother said, I do but only part of a gang. So I believe they have access to FBI resources or CIA resources. So my mother said, that one of the doors are introduced was moving like a bad company in Pennsylvania. So I believe they may possibly trying to get the police to kill me, make it look like an accidental killing. And because I don't have any other family, my father is dead, my mother is dead, I don't have any child. So they may want to think that they can give all my assets when I'm killed to my mother's daughter, and she can share with the American gang members. So they say once you're killed and you don't have a child, you don't have a spouse, I'm 44 years old, you give your money to your siblings. So in case I'm killed, only civil activists like me can administer my estate and get justice for me and my late mother, and donate the rest out to charity to those suffering in a favor like me and who've been deported by Trump supporters. My mother has another daughter in Nigeria called Funke. My mother said that one tried to throw me out of the window when I was a baby because she was angry that our own father is different from mine. And my mother got her arrested, but our father's family were very powerful and we released her. So I've not been able to get justice since I was a child. And also my mother, our daughter filed a green card for her. So my mother came here in 1998. And usually when you file a green card for somebody, you're supposed to feed them and sustain them financially above poverty level. My mother's had daughters who help her, Mali. So my mother went to stay with her as soon as she arrived from Nigeria in 1998. And my mother said within weeks she had to leave. That Bonnie was starving her. So my mother came to New York. I was in a shelter. And somebody tried to stab my mother in the shelter. So my mother fled the shelter and was staying with a Nigerian family in Staten Island. Those ones don't want to either. Because one of them didn't have papers. My mother thought maybe that one was afraid. The wife was afraid that it would bring too much attention having someone with a green card stay with them and stuff. So my mother went to live with another friend. And she started working on Staten Island. It was a whole night day. And she went to Nigeria to come get me. And they arrested me at the airport. Saying my visa doesn't allow me to come in. And they do my fingerprints. It's been one trouble to the next. And now the police are anywhere I try to. I'm also gay. So anytime I go to Instagram or any website where I look at men's picture, the police will get out of here. Some other IPR surveillance. And my friend I was trying to help me. They killed them. So it's like this FBI is out to kill gays or something, because they said that you're gonna really like me, so I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna be helping you with anything you want. And the police want to kill them. So I've been noticing anytime I'm looking at pictures of men online, the police are like, get out of here. Treat me like I'm a pervert. I'm like I'm an adult. I go on that Instagram even ban me. So I always look at pictures of men on there, So this is a genocide of gays and blacks in America because they allowed the whites to be gay apparently. I can't be gay in America or whatever. So I guess they think, to be hard to deport me if I have evidence of me gay because I really don't date anybody. A lot of the people are very standoffish. We Africans are like the least anybody wants to interact with, because of the slave trade. A lot of black Americans are like Africans. So I just look at pictures of men online and stuff. So I guess, I don't know why they what they're trying to cover up, but I've been noticing I'm under the FBI surveillance. And anytime I look at pictures of men online, the police would either use black American kids to beat me up, or the police would just tell me to leave. And even I used to go to the train station, Berry Avenue on 4th Avenue, and at night I'll be looking at pictures of men online, going to a Nigerian church, Pastor Joshua, online and stuff, and they will hire black American kids to beat me up. And there's a police officer stationed in that station that day. And I was screaming. I was like, some black American kids were beating me up. I said, you police officer, I was downstairs at the platform charging my phone. They had them war charger at that time. They spent millions of dollars to install that. They said it was mainly for their white customers, you know. And the same black American kids to spit at me, beat me up, and a black African woman was a police officer stationed there, and she wouldn't help me. I was just like, we don't want your types in the train station, so we're going to arrest you soon and frame you up. So I called the IAB on Internal Service Bureau, and they didn't help me. They hung up the phone on me, and weeks later they arrested me. In front of that train station, called me crazy. They had a guy pull my hair, it was a white guy, and then they choked me. The police choked me, just like the black African woman threatened that they were going to frame me up and stop me from coming to that train station. You know, we started choked in 2019, July 20, 2019, and took me to the psych ward, and the NY Psychiatric Hospital nearby, a block away. And the staff was making fun of me, saying, Baba Tuesday, Baba Tuesday. Apparently, they brought me down on Sunday night. And the Tuesday was the court hearing. If you feel that you were brought there wrongfully, you can only go to court every Tuesday. But since they brought me on a Sunday night, they said you have to fill out the application to be taken to court the previous week from Monday to Friday. So they firstly arrested me and framed me up as crazy. So they made me spend 7 days there, to wait for the court hearing. Because if you feel you're brought there wrongfully, and they didn't have the court hearing, they told me we're not going to let you go to court. And they put me on the van and told the van to drive me somewhere else, and went and dumped me in Manhattan. So they wasted 7 days of my life, stole my green card and everything. Even the Nigerian embassy, I told them to come and meet me in the hospital. They told me no, we'd rather meet you in court. You know. So the Nigerian government said they're going to help me, and they've never helped me. My passport has been stolen, my green card has been stolen. Anytime I call the Nigerian embassy, they either hang up the phone when I email them, they don't respond. So they said the African governments, a lot of them, they want favor from America, so they don't want to go against America. So it's like they've already given the US government, so you can kill this person. And maybe, you know, like Diallo, when he was killed, his family in Africa got money, his mother especially. My mother is dead, my father is dead. So then I think the Nigerian government think it will profit them if I'm killed in the hardest way. So maybe the money some of it can be sent to Nigeria. So Nigeria is broke for a long time now. They squandered all the oil money, and their currency is dropping, and they've been trying to attract foreign investment, and they can't get it. So I guess that acquiescence to human trafficking, you know, or killings of Nigerians, so the money can be sent back home. So no way, no how, if I'm killed or anything that person, should any money be sent to any family member in Nigeria. Only civil activists, mostly preferably in America, should administer my estate, provided this. Human rights activists have not denied me help in the past, and get justice for me and my late mother, and give the rest of the money in charity to those suffering in Ethiopia like me from anywhere in the world, really. Provide those people have not denied me help in the past, and those preferably, and those being deported by Trump should be prioritized for assistance under any of my charity for my estate in case I'm killed or I die. And if I'm running disabled, sometimes they try to hit me with bicycles or cars. If I'm running disabled, if I'm running disabled, I shouldn't be moved to any other country. I'm not safe in any other country. I'm a gay Nigerian. I was born in I'm a woman. So I've not been able to get justice here in America, and I'm afraid other countries also. America has so much influence, so other countries may also. And my mother said our daughters are part of a gang, so their gang could also attack in another country. A guy was trying to stop me on the train on Sunday. They were menacing me on the train. The black American train conductor was saying, B.A., that's my name. My name means Babatunde, means the return of the father. And she was saying B.A., and on the one train on Sunday, it was close to afternoon. Yeah, almost close, like 11 a.m. Then I fell asleep on that one train. When I woke up, somebody left a can soda like this, say Poppy. I believe Poppy is Miss Father in American slang. I was like, this drink is not even popular. It was like a red can like this with the word Poppy, So this drink is not even popular, so why would somebody leave the drink while I was sleeping, leave the drink across the seat from me so I could see when I wake up. And the train conductor, as I was about to sleep on the train, I was so tired. Yesterday, Sunday, September 14th, 2025, it was close to 1 p.m. Yeah, before I slept, on the one train, the black American train conductor driving the train was saying, BA. My name is Babatun, it starts with BA. Then I think a Spanish male also responded. They're not supposed to use the public address system to be talking to each other, the train conductors. They have a walkie-talkie. So I'm being stalked and followed, and some of them bring knives, and they believe, they said the poor blacks in this country can be easily killed in prison, especially if you don't have any loving family member, and they'll cover it up. So my father is dead, my mother is dead, and a black American guy said was going to help me. Everyone has been dead, So I believe this is why they believe they can kill me easily and get away with it. So the train conductor was taunting me on the one train yesterday. My name is a Nigerian name. It starts with BA. And she shouted, BA. I was on the train. I'm like, why is she calling my name on the train? I don't know this woman. Then a male conductor also responded. They have a walkie-talkie. They could be talking to each other with a walkie-talkie. Please, I need to answer my card number. So they have a walkie-talkie. They could be talking to each other on a walkie-talkie, and they chose not to do that. So in case I'm killed here in America, they say poor blacks like me don't last long in America. My father is dead. My mother is dead. I'm from Nigeria. And my mother said her daughters in America are part of a gang. So I think they're just trying to kill me because I was arrested wrongfully by the U.S. immigration and get the money for themselves. So in case I'm killed, I'm not married, I'm a gay, I was born a male, I'm not a female. In case I'm killed, no family member should be able to administer my estate. Only foreigners should administer my estate and get justice for me and my dead mother and give the rest out to charity, to those suffering xenophobia like me, especially those being deported by Trump. So they're calling the police on me everywhere. So they say when they start harassing you everywhere, they want to kill you. A guy pulled a knife on me on the train. So I'm a Nigerian transsexual. So this is what they turn America into. They say poor people like me don't last long in America. So please, anybody watching this, I'm at the Dwayne Reed. Anybody watching this worldwide, please. And I'm being bullied in America so crazily. So this is not an artificial video, artificial intelligence video. This is a real video, you can confirm. I just came here to buy tissue. I have diarrhea, and sometimes they hide the tissue to try to get me to not be able to wipe it. Oh, thank you. You're so kind. So I withdrew $20 as she brought it to me. Sometimes they don't really steal money from me. So I get cash assistance. So I like to have a little bit of the cash in my pocket. So this is one write-off store. I withdrew $20 from the cash assistance. This is my money to buy extra food and stuff, because my food stamp, I use my food stamp to buy food also, but I can't buy it. So the food I like is the food stamp, so I always prepare money to buy the food. I have diarrhea, I'm always hungry and I'm always having diarrhea. And I also have worms because I'm always hungry. And sometimes the radio they were talking about, I'm not FBI surveillance, they were talking about colon cancer. So yesterday I was talking about, I was just talking loud. I don't have no colon cancer, I just have worms, So I think some people wish me to have colon cancer so I could die early. So after I said I don't have colon cancer yesterday, because I have worms, I think worms is causing my diarrhea, because sometimes I leave my food in my bag too long. And when I eat it, it's already cold, and sometimes it will have sometimes the food that I buy, sometimes it's not well cooked. So I think this is why I'm always having diarrhea, I'm always tired. So after I said I don't have colon cancer, because sometimes when I listen to the radio, they'll be mentioning colon cancer. My mother be a surveillance, so anything I listen to, they'll be able to listen to it. My mother brought me in 2000, and they arrested me at the JFK airport when I was a minor child. They said, you don't know what come here. So they said the FBI, they're so roguish and immature, they abuse their surveillance, use it to set up subjects like me. A lady, Mindy, she's on Instagram. She says she's a white female. She was arrested for drug trafficking, allegedly with the mafia. And she said the FBI also was messing with her while she was on surveillance. So she had to be hiding her phone. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. She was even saying you gotta hide your phone. You gotta have two phones, hide one. I have two phones, I just don't know. I had to hide my phone or whatever. So they got me real good. And so I listened to WABC radio from the time I was in immigration prison. So the owner of WABC radio, Cass Matidis, is friends with Trump. So sometimes they would be taunting me on that radio and they would talk about colon cancer, colon cancer, colon cancer. As I'm listening to the radio, I guess the FBI could listen to myself and I'm listening to the radio. So I was saying out loudly yesterday, so I don't have colon cancer. I may have worms. And somebody pulled a knife on me after that. So it's like, I think that person was a Spanish guy that has a bunch of Spanish people. They were following me around on the train. So some of them were spitting at me. So I think, the FBI may think I have colon cancer. And I said I don't have colon cancer yesterday. And some Spanish guy was pulling a knife on me. So I think they were hoping I have colon cancer and I would die soon. Because that colon cancer kills people fast. Even there's this black American guy also. He was talking about colon cancer on Instagram. So I started following his account. And he started posting that please, go check yourself for colon cancer if you're in your 40s, so please. So I think the FBI is kind of curious to see if I have colon cancer. So I'm going to die soon. So my mother's daughter's going to inherit my estate. So yesterday I said it out loud. So I don't have colon cancer. I may have worms. And soon after that, some Spanish guy put a knife on me. So they were trying to kill me. And I called the police. The police wouldn't help me yesterday. They said, no, it's nothing if somebody puts a knife on you. So go up at your way. I'm like, excuse me? And my friend Erigana also that was trying to help me, the person I took him there immediately. So this FBI, they're out of control. And a white lady on Instagram, her name starts with Mindy, Mindy. She says she's under FBI surveillance also. She was selling drugs with the mafia or something like that, allegedly. She said she's been under FBI surveillance. I said they mess with her also. I said sometimes, when they arrested her finally, said they were lying in the criminal charges and saw her somewhere where she wasn't or something like that. So she was like, just learn how to hide your phone. And, I'm like, I don't even know how to do all that. I'm a Nigerian. I'm not really used to hiding from police or whatever. So my mother's dead now. My mother said she was being followed after we sued the NYPD. So they're abusing the Congress has to investigate the FBI. So yesterday I said out loud, I don't have no colon cancer. I believe I may have, worms. And soon after that, some Spanish guy put a knife on me and wanted to stab me yesterday on the train. So I believe this FBI was hoping I had colon cancer and I'm going to die soon. And my mother does inherit all the money I have. And just, So please, that's what I said. Except that murder, they said this FBI, a lot of them are rogues. And they said, when they enlist criminals as their informants, they say those criminals always end up being worse criminals. So my mother was her daughter, one of her daughter, Bolani, was into drugs. She was moving with a bad gang. So I believe either she's working for the CIA or the FBI. Because I always see her in this neighborhood. She just walked past me. As I'm begging for money, she didn't give me anything. And she lives in Pennsylvania. So I'm like, how is she able to know where I'm at? Even my mother also, she fled from that daughter. She started poisoning her food. And my mom started having bloody diarrhea. She started having heart attack, heart condition. My mother started having heart condition. So in 2015, around May 13, 2015, my mother fled Pennsylvania to come to New York. And she was at the Bellevue Hospital. For 2 or 3 days, she didn't tell nobody what hospital she was in. And so that I showed up in the hospital. My mother said she was shocked to the marrow. So usually, so most likely our mother would be on surveillance. And I was talking to my mother on the phone. And most likely they put my mother on FBI surveillance. So, so they abuse us foreigners like this. Recklessly put us on FBI surveillance. So they were giving my mother's location to her daughter, and the daughter went and set my mother up. So they should lock my mother up in the psych ward. Even though my mother wasn't crazy, she told the hospital that she doesn't even have a surgery done in America. She'd rather go back to Nigeria because she doesn't even have any loving family member in America to take care of her in case the surgery goes bad, but she still has some people in Nigeria. So she told her she'd like to go to Israel first to pray. And the girls told the hospital to lock her up. Just to knock my mother to death. So my mother, and in those government hospitals, when they lock you up and want to lock you up and you're not good, they'll use maximum force. So the address saw that my mother was naive, because she wasn't born, the address was born in America. So they set her up and they said, and when I looked at my mother's face after they killed her, she had this horror look like, her face was squeezed tight, like she was in pain when they killed her. So most likely they injected her with a kitten. And I told the hospital, the medical examiner's office, New York Medical Examiner's Office, I wanted autopsy. They said no. They didn't do an autopsy unless the suspect was a killing. So she died in the hospital. I was like, yeah, she was telling me that the hospital was trying to put her in a psych ward, and she told me she was going to resist. And as soon as she told me that on the phone, I heard the hospital was trying to put her on the psych ward for real, and she resisted and they killed her. And she died with this horror look in her face. Her face was squeezed like, you know. So my mother always told me, when somebody dies, you can look at their face. If their face looks like they're sleeping in peace, then they die peacefully. If they have this horror look, that means, you know, so they died a violent death, most likely. And I used to watch a lot of crime shows also after that, you know, and the same thing. Now, you know, by looking at the face of the dead person, so if the person and examine their head for any wounds, you can tell even without an autopsy done how the person died. You can have a rough guess. You know, so they refused to do an autopsy. So they're killing foreigners. A Jamaican guy also, his name is Beans, Beansng. He said they killed his mother in Kings County, another city hospital. This one in Brooklyn. They locked me up in a hospital in Brooklyn, also filming on me. So they're targeting foreigners, this FBI and the NYPD. A black American trying to help us, the foreigner, so they choked him dead. And his family said, you know, I just met Oregon at that time. And he was saying, you know, he likes me, he's going to help me. And they went and killed him right away. You know, and anytime I'm looking at any gay picture, they either send people to beat me up, I'm looking at pictures of me, or the police will harass me. Even instead of choking me. So it seems the FBI are on their hunt to kill blacks, and especially blacks that are not masculine, or, you know, that they feel may have a gay tendency. So this is a genocide, and they won't stop. Today I was at September 15, 2025, I was charging my phone, and I noticed they placed the white guy near the phone booth, you know, at Cadman Plaza and Clinton Street, and he was sitting on the floor before I got there, and I was suspicious. Because usually I'm the only one that charges my phone there, and they have this black American can come there before me and won't let me charge my phone, so I was suspicious. Anytime I'm trying to charge my phone and somebody's there, there'll be drama. But I needed to charge my phone. As I was charging my phone, so I was watching Instagram, I was looking at the pictures of men, and there was this Nigerian guy, and he was making a joke about the way my mother died. His name is, he's married, his girlfriend is black American, but he's from Nigeria. His girlfriend's name is Jayla, and his own name is Maurice. So, you know, and they were making fun. They just shot that video like 2 or 3 days ago. And the same thing, my mother was telling me that her daughter gave her food and she started having diarrhea, bloody diarrhea, and her heart started congestion. So that was the skit they were making, this black American lady and the Nigerian guy. So the black American lady sounded like my mother's daughter. My mother's daughter only speaks with a black American accent. You know, my mother sounded like a Nigerian. The Nigerian guy, Maurice, sounded like a Nigerian. Yeah, and he was saying, do you want to kill me? Do you want to kill me? What did you put in the food? And the black American lady was laughing, this is your last meal, this is your last meal. You know, and normally I would have been so upset, I would have been so traumatized. Because I don't know if the FBI is releasing my information to people to mock me. I hope I kill myself. You know, because a lot of people make fun about the way my mother died. You know, so I've been under FBI surveillance, I'm a Nigerian. So on this movies and jailer, they were like doing a skit like almost like the way my mother died. But I found it funny, you know, because the guy was almost just like my mother. He's a Nigerian guy, he sounds like my mother. He speaks with a Nigerian accent, but was wearing a hair bonnet, you know. So he claims he's straight, but he always acts gay. You know, so I found that funny. You know, and he was acting like my mother, really. So I found that a little funny, even though my mother's dead, it's not funny. And for today, I was able to laugh about it. Normally, I would just be mad and just, you know, switch up to another thing. And as soon as I started laughing, the police showed up. So you gotta go. So you have too many bags. You can't be on the street with your bag. I'm like, excuse me? So we've been getting a report that you're at the phone booth with your bag and people don't like it. I'm like, you can't just be calling the police on me. I'm using the phone booth, I have privacy right. And I'm learning on Instagram, and the Indian lady police officer was almost laughing. So you're learning on Instagram? I said, yeah, I have right to education. And they went and stayed in their car, and I think They were even radioing the EMS that somebody, we have a crazy person here. They said, you're going to frame me up for real, and get me arrested and killed, possibly. So they need to arrest those people. So a guy was trying to stab me to death on the train yesterday. And I called, the police showed up and they took me to take a report. There's nothing, I should just go my way. So I took the badge number of those police officers. I said I'm going to report them for covering up attempted murder. And it's like, okay, we'll just take a quick report. But we're not going to, put your video as evidence or nothing. I said, I took the video of the guy trying to stab me. I said, no, they're not going to look at they're not going to put the video in the report. So it's like, I'm still going to report you. So I think this is why, the killer policemen said, we're going to kill this person before this person reports us. Because the last time they arrested me also, they were using gang members to attack me in the bathroom on July 20, 2019 at Prospect Park Station. And I told those gang members, I'm recording you, I'm going to file a report today about you. And before I could file a report, the police came and arrested me. And I had a white guy pull my hair, and I told the white guy to stop it. I'm buried on 4th Avenue. On July 20, 2015, that same day, I told the gang member that attacked me in the bathroom on the queue line, Prospect Park train station, women's bathroom. And as soon as I told that gang member, I said, I have your video, I'm going to post it and file a report by tonight. And before I could, an MTA worker came and threatened me as I was on the train, leaving. I eventually took the R train to J Street in Brooklyn, and the MTA worker was like Spanish, told me, you're done today, and walked past me. So I brought out my phone, recorded it again. I said, look, I'm being threatened everywhere. I was just attacked in the bathroom in Prospect Park train station. And later that day, I normally go to Bay Street and 4th Avenue to Panhandle. Then at night time, I would go to the train station and charge my phone and file any report. And before I could do that, the police accosted me and arrested me. They had a guy pull my hair, and I told the guy, why are you doing that? Why are you pulling my hair? I don't know you. This is sexual abuse. And then the police came and arrested me, so I was fighting with the guy. Frame me up as crazy. So I mean, this is what they were trying to do to me tonight again. Frame me up as crazy. Said people were calling to report I was a nuisance. And they had already placed a white guy near the phone booth, and the white guy was sitting on the floor. And the white guy was acting suspicious. I mean, he calls himself a female, I'm sorry to his gender. And I said he's not interested in filing a police report. So, okay, he was the one sitting on the floor. So I'm like, and then the police said they were getting reports of people acting like nuisance. I'm like, maybe the guy sitting on the floor, they consider that a nuisance, but I'm standing up charging my phone. How am I a nuisance? I said, yeah, you have too many guys. I'm like, excuse me? So I believe they're very worried about, and the guy that tried to stab me also yesterday on the train told me to leave. So if you don't want to die, leave your bag behind. So I believe they're afraid, because sometimes people try to trip on my bag, and they're afraid when I get killed by the police, people are going to sue. That, yeah, you were torturing that person, and while you were torturing that person, you were tripping and falling on the bag, so we're going to sue you also. So, so that's why they've been stealing my bags. So these police are aware that they're torturing me against the law, but they feel, who's going to help me? We're going to torture this person to death, and the sisters are going to get the money. We're going to claim this person's crazy, doesn't know what they're talking about. So, don't even, whatever they say, they want to donate their money to charity or whatever, they're not going to accept that. We're just going to call them crazy and give the money to the sisters and claim this person was suffering from dementia. I didn't even remember the sisters. When they put me in the psych ward, I was trying to contact a Black American lady, Wendy Williams. But I don't know her phone number, so I was just calling. I was just dialing up random numbers from the hospital phone, and I would ask the hospital staff, can they help me get this lady's phone number? Because she always claims she likes gays and stuff. I didn't have anybody I could call to see if she can publicize my story on a TV show then. But, people told me they don't know her phone number, and stuff. So I think the FBI must have told her or whatever. Because now she claims she had to resign from her show or whatever, or be fired. So people are trying to lock her up also as having dementia. So, I said now she wants to be an advocate for people that may be framed up as having dementia. So it's like everybody's just having fun at my expense. Like the Nigerian male and his black American girlfriend, they were like making fun of the way my mother was killed. The black American girlfriend, Jayla, she sounded like my mother's daughter that was born in America. And my mother said that daughter gave her food that poisoned the food. So that Jayla was saying, she sounded like my mother's daughter. My mother's daughter Bolani was born in America. And that Jayla was like, this is your last meal. And the Nigerian respond like my mother would respond. Say, my stomach. You want to kill me. And I found it so funny because it was just fun like the way my mother would have responded. Because my mother says she's respecting her daughter, Bolani. Putting something in her food, and anytime she eats, the food will give her bloody diarrhea. And the guy was touching his stomach. And I actually bursted out laughing because normally I'd be very upset. And so I believe the FBI or somebody's leaking my information out. I just get made fun of on radio show, TV shows. So this is what is going on. The FBI is corrupt. And there's this white lady on Instagram. Her name is Mindy. She said she's been arrested by the FBI for selling drugs. And she was like, before they finally arrested her, they were messing with her, framing her up and stuff. So the FBI said, so thank God. At least this is making sense. What I've been going through. A black American was trying to help me. The police, when I took him dead, I've been under FBI surveillance. Because when they arrested me at the JFK airport, I saw them take my fingerprint and put it on the FBI computer and arrested list or whatever. So I was able to see that. I was like, okay, now it's making sense. And I heard once you're on the FBI surveillance, leave you there forever, as long as you're an immigrant here. And since then, lawyers wouldn't help me. They promised to help me, like this Benjamin Crump. The first time I spoke with him, I told him everything. I told him he was going to help me. Then the police arrested me after that, stole my green card and everything. When I came out of the psych ward, I've been reaching out to him every day on Instagram. He doesn't respond to me anymore. And I love the black American lawyers also. The first time I speak with them, they will act like they're going to help me. And I believe some of this FBI may be telling them, no, we want to kill this person and give the money to Americans. Please don't embarrass us. So a lot of American lawyers will tell me, we don't want to help you anymore. We're sorry. So this is crazy. This is xenophobia at its worst. And my mother was saying the same thing. Our daughters are moving like an American gang, especially at Bolani. And they must have killed my mother for xenophobic reasons that we don't want, we'd rather have the daughters take the money and give it to the American gang members of the FBI, and have this Nigerian woman and a transsexual child get the money. So they said even after slavery ended, the whites promised black Americans a acre and a mule, and the black Americans got nothing. So even when Martin Luther King was killed, his family were able to sue, but they sued late, so they could only get $100 because they got the information later the FBI was involved and the U.S. government was involved. So they could only sue under South Carolina law, because part of the plan to kill him was actually South Carolina, and that South Carolina law allows you to sue late. But Martin Luther King's family, they could only win $100. That's the maximum you can win. So they said that some of the government agencies here help to block justice for blacks, and the Nigerian government promised to help me also after the police arrested me, put me in the psych ward in 2019, and since then, they've not helped me. They told me they were going to contact the Nigerian President Buhari, and they've not helped me since then. Anytime I call them, they either hang up the phone. If I send them a Facebook message, they don't respond. So the International Criminal Court needs to look into this as human trafficking of dead bodies for profit. And my mother's daughter quickly went and buried my mother in a New Jersey cemetery, so I'll be able to get access to do a autopsy. I was going to do a private autopsy, and they went and buried her behind my back. In New Jersey, I don't have a car, and they chose a part of New Jersey I wasn't familiar with. And, I was homeless, so I wanted to get a lawyer because I love the New York lawyers. They don't want to, do things out of state, and even they didn't really want to help me either. And when they're not here, the person's body has been moved out of state. That was going to involve extra money. Litigating. Even one of the lawyers told me you can't do any case in New Jersey. I'm sorry, it's not really familiar with New Jersey law. You know, so before my mother was killed, I was wanting to sue somebody in New Jersey or so. Yeah, I was Trump Hotel in New Jersey, they mistreated me. So I was trying to hire a New York lawyer to go after his hotel. And the New York lawyers were like, "No, sorry, we don't want to practice. We don't like to practice out of New York because New Jersey law is different from New York. And because they with too much expense and they're too inexperienced. So I should go to New Jersey, find a local lawyer. Now I couldn't find a lawyer in New Jersey yet. You know. So this is what I've been going through. You know. Mockery as a Nigerian, and they leave me, don't let me find bathrooms to use, leave me in sanitary conditions, the never the bathrooms and stuff. The Target store, they went and removed the sink from the bathroom, And I believe this FBI is coordinating the torture and abuse. I have multiple people like that. Mob, they decided used to kill Black Americans after slavery ended. Have multiple people lynched them. And in 2020 or thereabout, Biden signed a law, anti-lynch law, that says if multiple people are attacking somebody, regardless of the reason, they can be charged with lynching. But this Trump is not really helping immigrants. And the prosecutors here in New York don't help me. I contact the Manhattan prosecutor all the time. The prosecutor don't help me. So this is what's going on. So anybody can donate to my Cash App. My Cash App is $NYC. I'm not looking for any celibacy. I'm not looking to marry anybody. Somebody took me to their home and said they wanted to marry me. I told them they raped me and picked me up. So I'm not looking to get married. I'm not looking to bribe anyone. If anybody can borrow me a loan, I'm willing to pay it back. Because I'm not looking for any sexual relationship. Excuse me, miss. Hello? Please. I'm not looking for any sexual relationship. And I'm not looking to be in any religious cult either. So I've been experiencing all kinds of suspicious activity. Some pastors saying, if you're a member of the church, any money you have in the future belongs to their church. Because God wants people to give everything to God. So no, I'm a Christian. Nobody should, I saw a pastor preaching on Instagram like that. So if you're a Christian, all your money you earn belongs to church. There's nothing like your money. Everything belongs to the pastor. So now I'm not in any religious cult like that, or any religious cult period. So all kinds of special activities going on. This is where FIFA needs to investigate this. The police are telling me I can't be on the street with bags, so they're profiling. So I believe this FBI they've been hiring Black Americans to steal my property because they're afraid that if I'm killed eventually, people can sue that they were tripping all over my bag. So they say, when a crime is committed, the cover-up is always worse than the crime itself. A lot of these criminals start to panic, so I've been noticing a lot of people also trying to intentionally trip over my bag. So I think the word is spread on the street that the FBI is trying to kill this African and steal all the money through the daughters, through my mother's daughters, and give it to the American gang, and they just claim, look, this person is crazy. Whatever this person said before death, because in the hospital also they put in my medical papers, NY Psychiatric Hospital, that I didn't know my name, I didn't know who I am, I had memory loss. I'm like, excuse me, like, what does that mean? So this FBI is setting up Africans to kill and steal the money from. So that's what I put in my medical reports. That I don't know my name. Of course, my name is Babatunde Olabokpo. I was born in July 8, 1981. My mother's name is Esther Olabokpo. So this is what I put in my medical reports. So please, if I'm killed, civil rights activists, please stand up for me. And under the right of sepulchre, I have a right to determine how my estate should be handled. New York has right to sepulchre law, and it's a crime for anybody to deny me my right to sepulchre. So I guess the thing that we can just frame this person up and tell the court this person has a medical record that they don't know their name, they don't know who they are. So this is what I put in my medical papers at the NYU Psychiatric Hospital. I'm like, excuse me, why would you lie about me? And they didn't let me go to court. When I asked to go to court, they just discharged me. On the court day, I said, we're not going to let you go to court. And they put me in a van, asked the van to drive me to Manhattan. The hospital I was arrested in, placed in, was in Brooklyn. So this FBI is out of control. They are into gang robbery and killing, human trafficking. My mother's been killed, my father's been killed. A black American trying to help is killed. And a lot of the black American lawyers that was assisting the Aragona family, like Benjamin Crumb, promised to help me. All of a sudden, he went silent. Wouldn't respond to me anymore. So I believe that the FBI is telling these people, please don't block us. We want to steal this person's money and give it to black Americans and other Americans that are part of my mother's daughter's gang, Polanyi's gang. And the other daughter, my mother has, her name is Flora. My mother has another daughter called Funke. So that one tried to throw me out of the window when I was a child, saying my mother said she was jealous they have a different father from her. So my mother got arrested in Nigeria, but that Funke's father, they're very powerful and they got her released. So the case didn't really proceed to court and stuff. So I've been getting denied justice as a Nigerian male, born as a male, and now I'm a woman. So this was over.